So my patio is beginning to look like a forest. Let me push one here. So, but yeah, we're in Charleston, just hanging out and enjoying the weather. But welcome everybody. Anybody else want to say hello before we get started? Well, I know you guys are all there, and it's all about just doing it, you know. So welcome again to our Thursday Mastermind Call meeting, and just a phone call, no script. We just talk about the great things that are happening in our Surge 365 business, the great stuff that are happening with people in our business. And we have folks that are just still out there paying their fees and doing what they know to do, and income's coming in from multiple sources on a continuous basis and increasing quantity. You know, those are things that we say as affirmations. And I was listening to another motivational speaker. When I walk in the morning, it's really beautiful here. It's a nice little neighborhood. It's nowhere near as hilly as Colorado. I mean, Colorado, I walked out my door and boom, I was going down a hill. So here it's a nice, you know, it got a little bit of incline here and there, if you want to call it an incline, but it's really a nice little leisurely walk that I can do early in the morning before the sun starts beaming out. Because once the sun starts beaming out, it does get a little warm. But able to just take a nice slow walk, have my Bluetooth in and listening to different things. And I judge my walk by the time of the actual recording. And this one was an hour and a half. So I had to finish listening to it when I came in the house. But it's just a reminder that you are the vessel, you are the thing. Whatever you want is up to you. It hasn't changed. And so I love these refresher things that I listen to and that we should all listen to. Find something that you like hearing. Now, I know with me, sometimes I get tired of hearing that person. Sometimes I get tired. But there are so many different speakers out there that are pretty much talking what you need to hear when it comes to self-awareness, self-motivating, whatever you want to do with yourself. It's all out there and it's all for free. And also, AI is amazing. It's all about knowing how to ask the question. So I was playing around the other day and I asked the question about travel and what are great words to get people to book on my site. And it just put out all of these different words that you can use. So if you're doing a post and you're trying to think of what can I say with my picture of the water or, you know, whatever you did, the plane, if you're looking for words to throw in there that will catch people's eye, it'll tell you that. So whatever you want to do, it's really up to you to seek out the information. There is so much information out there right now that when it's used correctly, you know, because we have bad actors out there, so you really want to be careful on what you're clicking on. I would suggest if somebody sends you something to your phone, do not click on it, especially if you have no idea what the phone number is. Oh, just FYI, I will receive phone numbers. Do you have time to talk? Or are you busy? And I'm like, who is this? I don't know the number, no pictures with the number. So here's another little, just for your information. If you have a phone number, put the person's name with it on your phone. Even if it's somebody that you're working with, put their name there, put a picture there if you can, because that way when you get a phone number that might be familiar because they're using an area code that you're living in, but there's no picture, there's no name, let it go, delete it, because everybody's getting so savvy right now with the different ways that they're using to get into your personal information. Just an FYI. So let's go back to when you want to learn something, make sure you're clicking on what you want to learn. YouTube it's a wealth. It's just a wealth of information. Anything you want to learn, people are there showing you how to do it. Even when we first got these iPhones. I think these are 15. I don't remember, but I when we 15, 16, I forget. But even when we first got the phone, I'm calling my son. I need to understand. You had me buy this phone so I could see my grandbaby, and I'm trying to understand this phone because I love my Samsung. I thought it was great. I had no issues with it. But we did this just so he could show us on FaceTime, even though we could use Facebook to FaceTime, but he didn't want to use those couple of extra steps to do that. But it's okay. So we have the phone. He's busy, out of town, working. And we just went on to YouTube and started diving into it. Anything you want to know, whatever it is, it's there. The information is there. You can learn. You can decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. So I'm listening to Norvell, and I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm enjoying the recording. And it's stuff that I have heard before, but it's just put in a different way. So when you're looking and you're trying to find something to listen to, just go and plug in some words, motivational speaker, motivational words. It's all going to pop up. Travel, whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to become better in, it's all right there. So I did that, and I was just listening to him, and I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that. And, of course, he goes into your aura. What are you projecting out is what you're going to get. And we all know that, but just hearing it from a different perspective was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And who you're surrounding yourself with. What are you listening to? What's going in? All of that should keep you on the track that you want to be on. Because we know when we fall off the track. We know when we're going over to the way we used to do. For me, for example, if I wake up and I'm like, oh, man, I am not in the mood to walk, that is when I walk. That is when I push past the, oh, man, I walked yesterday. I don't have to walk every day. Yes, you do. For me, I do. And then not to mention, while I'm walking, I'm listening to information. I'm not just doing whatever. I'm actually learning as I go because I'm clicking on things that I want to know more about. And the more you do that, the more things will open. So even for an example, you click on gray and gray comes up. And then they start showing you how the color gray is made. And you're like, oh, wow, that's an interesting product. What is that? Oh, you click on that. You learn something else. And before you know it, you have all this wealth of information that you probably already have, but it's just waking it up. It's just reminding you of what you want to do and how you want to do it. I had lunch with some friends and my cousin, Saturday, I think it was. It was so funny because we're all born in the same year. And you would not think that we were all born in the same year. So everybody's taking out their phone, showing pictures of their baby. And then my other friend, what is this? I don't know this phone, blah, 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 blah. And she had no idea on how to find pictures. All she knew how to do was make a phone call. So we were just laughing and showing her how to use her phone. But it's funny because everybody is in different stages. Because even when I got my phone, instead of waiting for my son to give me a tutorial, I went and I found the information myself. And so I said to her, how long you had your phone? I had this phone for 3 months and I had no idea what. Well, we were showing her little simple things, how to turn your light on, how to take a picture, little simple things that you do with your phone. But for her, it was, this is hard, and so we were trying to tell her how to do it. And so a lot of knowledge that we all have, especially all of us on this call that's in Surge, you have a lot of knowledge, especially with your Surge business. And you really don't realize how much knowledge you have until you get out there and you start talking to other folks. And you don't know that? Oh, you don't know where to find that in your back office? Some of us might know more about travel than we do Surge, more about the compensation plan than we do Travmanity, but we know because we are in there. We are looking into our business. We're wanting to know. And even for her, I'm like, if you want to know, it's easy to find out. But working that phone was not a big deal for her. She thought that it was just a waste of time. So everybody has their own little thing on what they want to learn and how they want to learn it. And when you find someone who want to get into the travel business, don't make it about you and how many people you need in order to hit your bonus. I was listening to this one person on TV, and she was, quote unquote, a millionaire from all her different um, companies that she has invested in, started up, worked, blah, blah, blah. But they're all network marketing companies. And it was basically her trying to get you, because I don't know if you guys remember that one multi-level marketing person, Danny Johnson. I don't even know if I'm quite sure she's still around because she was very successful. But even the way they would do their meetings, people would come in, hear the meeting, and if you didn't want to hear what they had to say, they escorted you out right away. They only kept the people who were interested in learning more and more and more, and of course investing in her program and blah blah blah. And so that's how they handled it. But anyway, this lady, the millionaire, she was speaking, and she said that you cannot make it about you. You have to make it about the person you're talking to, because people can feel that. So that's back to your aura. That's back to when you walk in a room, what do people feel? Do they feel a positive energy from you? Do they want to be around you? See, there's so much stuff out there that you can be learning on how you can better yourself. And also, this is another thing I wanted to share. Just imagine if when you walked around and there was a bubble on the top of your head, and everything that you thought popped up on that bubble, and people could see it and read it. Now, you would definitely watch your thoughts when you were out if something like that was seen. So you should do that regardless. Do not have all these negative thoughts in your head, because that's what people are going to sense, even though you might not be saying it, but you're feeling it. So you want to make sure you go down deep. It's not all about just saying your affirmations in the morning. It's about feeling it. It's about believing it. And throughout the day, when different things come to trigger that negative thought that you used to have, think about that bubble. Can we see what you're thinking? No. Well, you want to make sure you fix that. And several different things that I was listening to made me think of if it was that way. And I was like, wow, that would be scary. That would be scary. You know, you meet somebody and they go, oh, look at my baby. And you look down at the baby and then the bubble pops up on what you really think of the baby. That would be sad. But I thought it was just interesting how we have so many thoughts. There's so much information out there. It's really up to you to learn it. And as I listened to her talk about how you want to make people feel about not what your product is, because people don't join us because of the product. People join because of the energy that we're projecting. People join because they like you, because they want to be around you, because they want to learn more about what you have. If you think about the different multi-level marketing companies that are out here, and you look at their product versus our product, you know our product is better. Our travel business is our travel business. We're not renting it, or we're not just using it on the sly. I mean, it's actually owned by Surge 365. And so you figure we have all of this. There's nothing like our compensation plan out there. People who have left will tell you they have never made as much money as they did when they were in our company as they have since they've been out. But they all have this different type of recognition things that folks are, I'm here, and da-da-da. They're putting their pictures up with a little pin, or they're putting their pictures up. And if you think about it, we used to do that back in the day. For every level that you made, we gave you some type of recognition. It was a pin, it was a shirt, it was a jacket. And so we still do the jackets. But for the smaller levels, as you begin to grow, you receive a $500 bonus. But wouldn't it be cool if you received a pin, or if you received something else because we all know once that $500 is gone, it's gone. And maybe we might have taken your first $500. You're not holding it or taking a picture of it. You just taking that check to the bank, or you're using the the pay card. It's gone. So wouldn't it be neat if you had a little pin? You can say, oh, I'm in the $500 bonus clubs now, or I'm in the comma club. That was a big deal, saying that you were in the comma club, because people like those type of recognition when you do different levels. So that was really great when we were doing that. But when you're talking to folks, remember, it's all about them and what kind of energy are you putting out. Do you need to make this sale so you can make that $1,000 bonus, and now you can qualify to be on the, oh, I just left my mind that fast. Oh, what is that line called? Well, anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Once you hit the $1,000 bonus, now you're able to receive all the different levels that they have put together in our compensation plan. The power line. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, the power line. So, you don't want to be, I gotta get this last sale. I'm gonna make this $1,000 bonus, and now I qualify for the power line. And because of my number, I now have all these different boxes that I'm gonna be able to get a check out of, and so that's gonna add up to like $4,000 and blah blah blah. But think about how you can change that person's life. Find out what they want, what their goals are. When you know what someone wants, and now you can help them and show them how to get it through Surge 365, that person, of course, will stay. You'll have a stronger foundation. And even though life will hit them, and life will lifing, as they say, all the time, be able to, like Chantel does that real well, reminding people why they came into Surge 365. What was their goal when they came in? Has that changed? And if so, why? Because if you can stay focused on what your passion is, Rick and I talked about this the other day. Folks work on a passion. Folks will work towards something they are passionate about. And when you can find out what that is, money is no object, because that's something that they really want to see happen. So you want to remind yourself when you're talking to somebody, it's not about you. Try to remember to talk to them about, well, what do you want? What do you see this business doing for you? Why did you call me? Why did you answer the phone when I called you? Why did you want to see this presentation? Yes, go right ahead.
I really like that. And working in your passion, like the business is not a passion for me. And so, of course, I've got to get focus and energy if I'm looking at working the business as a passion. But I do have a passion. And that passion focuses me to work the business to be freed up to do my passion. And so if I can focus on my passion, the business is basically a tool that allows me the personal freedom, time and money to be able to do the things that I'm really passionate about as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens with a lot of people, they don't put the time and energy in understanding what their true passion is, and putting the business in the place of it is a tool to free me up to do that. And that becomes your focus, that becomes a prayer. I need to be freed up to do the things I'm really passionate about. And now the business falls in place to satisfy it. The inspired actions, based on understanding and walking in your purpose on purpose. The things that will come to you. Just this morning, I was just thinking, and just, Brenda and I do a lot of things where we make statements to ourselves, and your inner conversation creates your outer reality. And one of the statements that we make to ourselves and we tell our kids to say is, my timing is always perfect. And something about that, everything rearranges. The universe, everything rearranges to make that statement true. And my kids will tell you, and Brenda will tell you, I will tell you that how true everything becomes in just making that statement. But not just that statement, you know, any statement that you can say and that you can quote, that you can believe, and as an inner conversation, and watch how it becomes true. You know, we've made more than $1 million+ in this business, in the travel business. We're founders of Surge 365, March 2015. The right place, the right time. We're always in the right place at the right time. These are all statements that we've made. We're no different than anybody, on this call or listening. We just understand, the things that really make things happen, in this world. And we just understand that everything begins as a declaration. And, we always talk about affirmations, and not only declaring your affirmations, but feeling your affirmations, believing your affirmations, aligning with your affirmations. You know, these are the things that really make things happen. Understanding your purpose and walking in purpose on purpose. Rehearsing the vision of your future, and that you are declaring, and then watching and waiting and looking and observing the inspired actions and the people that show up and the situations that show up to make it true. This morning, we make millions through referrals and overrides and residual. And and even in making that statement, this morning, the things that come to pass to make that true. Everybody on this call, and we used to talk about this, you have connectors, which are people that can professionally connect folks. Like I'm a professional connector. I could connect the entire Seahawks stadium, right? Broncos stadium, Patriots stadium, the entire stadium. I could connect that entire stadium, to people. I'm a professional connector. Mavens, the late great Lou was a maven. That's a person who has information, and they have information to share information, and they have a group of following that receives information that they acquire, and then they share that information. Three types of people in the world. Actually, my good friend Joe Marcelino added a fourth, but a connector, a maven, a salesperson. A salesperson, even at Gaga Goo Goo, they were selling their parents and their grandparents. But I think CC is a professional salesperson. But that's what they've been doing all their lives. They've been selling something all their lives from 0 1 minute. And then my good friend Joe Marcelino added the fourth. He says there's builders. There's people that, like Joe is a builder. And so people can professionally build things, organizations, this, that. That is a gift. Now, everybody else is also ran. Everybody else in this world is also ran. These are the professional folks who make things happen and cause movement. The connectors, the mavens, holders of information, the salespeople, and the builders. They're the ones who keep society moving, society functioning. You know, think about where you are in that. And that comes from, the book, The Tipping Point, that Glenn talks about, and by Malcolm Gladwell. But that's an important thing to know. And so this morning, and then of course, Brenda always talks about learning something new, learning something new. Every day we're trying to learn something new. And even this morning, and just making the statement, my timing is always perfect, slowed me down. That things come to me, I don't have to chase. And then things start happening. People start calling. I'm like, whoa, that's amazing how quickly that turns. What do you believe? What do you believe enough that it makes an impact? Brenda says, when you walk in the room, I know for a fact when Glenn and Chantel, they walk in a room, know, everybody's like, that matter. I got to talk to them. There's something that I need that they have. What is that? What is that? Mariana walks in a room. Folks are like, I gotta talk to that guy. There's something that they have. Everybody on this call has that. Now, you may not be aware of it. Deborah walks in a room and, the spirit and other people that have the spirit say, hey, there's something that she's got. I don't know what it is. And they make their way around to you. Adrian walks in a room. Darlene walks in a room. Ron and Linda walk in a room, right? It's the light of the spirit. Back to you, Brenda.
That's true. Anybody else? When you just go back a little bit, when you talked about our timing is always perfect, you've been saying that I can't remember. Oh my God, years. And it's so funny because if we're running late, this is how that statement works. If we're running late for a flight, and when I say late, they're not getting ready to close the doors on us. I'm just saying I like to be at the airport sitting at the gate 2 hours before my flight leaves. So if I only have an hour or whatever, to me that's late. But we'll be running in there, getting ready to get on the plane or getting to the airport and look up at the monitor. Our flight has been delayed 15 minutes. Our flight has been delayed 30 minutes. And it gives us that time to do what we need to do. And then, of course, you'll say, see, our timing is always perfect. And I'm thinking, okay. But it's true. And when you say those kind of things, it happens, it happens. And we've talked about this before where I forget what book it was we were reading, but we started off, and I think it was Jackie Fulton. She made us laugh because she was on the call. And we were talking about just for parking spots, just for the light. I catch every light. I catch every green light. I catch every green light. Every time I drive into a shopping center or parking lot, I have a parking spot right there. And when you start saying those things, and then it starts happening, it can really trip you out. You're like, oh my goodness, this is working. But when it's working, what you have to do is then take it to something else. What else you want it to do? What else you want to start happening like that? And then also, like we know, we can say affirmations and we can say it over and over again, and we can say it in the morning, but we cannot allow 10 o'clock to happen and all those affirmations that you said in the morning when you woke up just goes out the door because something happened in life and you're like, oh man, see, no. You have to remember to stay positive and keep, and it's easier for me to say it, and I am a witness to it. It's easier for me to say it than to do it, but I fight through it and I do it and I do it and I do it because I have seen the results of things that we want and how it comes together by saying and feeling and believing on what you want out of life. And it's so funny because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I was out with my cousin yesterday. I hang out with her, not a lot, but enough. And she was saying, I'm going to paint my cabinets. And I thought, I wonder if I could paint these cabinets. I said, I think I want to paint those cabinets white. And there was all this white paint right there, furniture, paint, blah, blah, blah. And then I started thinking about, oh man, I got to sand those down first before you can paint it. Or can I just put a coat of something over it because it's a real dark mahogany color. And I think, so I'm thinking about all the work. And
wait a minute, wait. What you talking about? You talking about like you going to do it? You making a project for me, huh?
I am making it for you.
I'm going to paint my cabinet.
And look.
That just hit me when she said, is there a dark mahogany?
I know that was going to. It's a dark mahogany. But to say all that, Rick, and we don't have to do it. It was just something I was thinking.
Oh
And then
no,
I
I was
started
just
thinking,
saying
and
it just hit me what you were saying.
I know. I know because I hadn't told you what I was thinking. And then
Oh,
I said, oh, I need to think, how would those cabinets look if they were a nice
oh
little
Lord.
eggshell white? And then if we got a couple of glass doors and we changed out a couple of the doors and made it glass where you could see inside, I'm thinking that would be real pretty and it would
Oh
really open up the
Lord.
kitchen. So but
I
that's what
say
I
that,
mean.
but I understand your vision. Your vision causes movement. And what people don't
Yes.
understand that is that your vision causes action, causes movement. Your
Mhm.
inspired vision causes inspired action. And that's exactly how we build. That's exactly how we got to Charleston, right, from Colorado. That's exactly how
Mhm.
we became in the business, all the things that we've achieved. Understanding that our vision causes inspired actions to accomplish whatever it is that is the end result of the vision. So, like Brenda's saying now, all nonchalantly, but what she's saying is she's living in the end result of the of being able to open up the kitchen and the glass and the white cabinets. But we that's how we get everything. That's why we go from glory to glory because we understand that movement is caused by an understanding, a clear understanding of your vision, and then looking and seeking out the inspired actions. See, $1,000 bonus right now when you've got a rank in Surge 365, team builder, regional builder, whether it's a national builder, director, when you have a rank, $1,000 bonus and 100 people that have come in the business since you've been in will get you, money out of a pool. So instead of making just the $1,300 from hitting $1,000 bonus, you've got 10 pools and they take $20 every month from everybody that's in the business, including the international, and they spread it amongst these 10 pools. And so if you're a team builder and you've got more than 100 people that have come into business since you've come in, you hit $1,000 bonus, 7 people basically coming on board and to your team. You're going to empty out that first pool, whatever your share is in that first pool. So in addition to the $1,300, you get whatever's in that pool. When we have 100,000 people in our business, they're taking $20 from every single person and spreading it amongst these 10 pools. So if you're a team builder, that first pool, it may be $100,000, it may be $50,000, it may be $50. Whatever's in that first pool, you're going to empty out and add to your $1,000 bonus. Man, when you start realizing that, and I believe this, just just action doesn't do anything. Just throwing your things out there and doing this, doing that, not really being focused to build a business. But when you start aligning your vision and your goals and seeking specific action, listening for specific actions, it may be call this person. It may be inbox this person, on social media. It may be something out of the ordinary. Just give them a like, right? Make a comment. And in an inspired action, you make a comment on social media, that person comes back and inbox you and say, hey, you know what? Are you still in that business? So inspired action, where it's flowing, where it's not, calling 50,000 people, without direction, without aim, just throwing it out. No, seeking based on your vision, based on your goals. What is the inspired? Asking the question, what is the next step of inspired action? And doing it. That's what I did this morning. And I was telling Brenda after I got off the call or a couple of calls, I said, man, I am a professional connector, millions of dollars just by making connections. All the things, think about it, all the things that you learned in Surge 365 will help you in ministry, will help you in business. Apply it, apply it. I'm working with these guys that, and the things I'm doing in Surge 365 and YTB and setting meetings and knowing how to do Zooms and connecting people and talking to people. I'm using all those skills I learned in Surge 365 YTB. Right? And the vision takes you beyond what you think you can see. It takes you into the community. It takes you into the ministry. Apply those skill sets. They're the same across the board. They're life enhancing, advancing skill sets. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow, that's true. Anybody? I know we have some smart people on this call, and you guys know this, and you've seen it happen with different things that you do. And that's what's so great about our business that we're in. And it's so funny, Rick, because we do this without even thinking. And of course, everybody's like, where are you guys going for the holiday? We don't travel on holidays. Everybody's traveling on holidays.
That's too
We
funny.
are home. We don't have, no, we are off the beaten path when it comes to time, when it comes to doing something. And so, nah, man, this is getting ready to be a busy holiday because everybody's going to try to get that last cookout in. And so, no, we are home enjoying the peace and quiet, the fact that we have a grill right here. But folks are traveling, though. Folks are traveling. Folks are out there. Every time we hit the airport, it is packed out. Every time I'm looking forward to, I'm going to try this Southwest. Next time we go somewhere, I want to try the Southwest because now you can choose your seats. So that's going to be interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Southwest. Yeah, Southwest, you can now choose your seats. And what's going to be interesting when we book something to go on Southwest to choose our seats, it's going to be interesting to see if there's a fee, because you know a lot of the airlines now, you have to pay when you're booking your tickets, and then of course the bags, you got to pay for your bags, and then you have to pay for your seats if you want a seat, or you can wing it and wait till you get there, and you can, wherever they seat you is where you'll go. But a lot of times people will pay the extra $30, $29, even $65, depending on where the seat is, to have the extra leg room or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see with Southwest.
They assign the seat, or you choose it?
You choose your seat. From what the advertisement said, I don't know if anybody else has heard it, but from what the advertisement has said is that you now get to pick your seat on Southwest.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let me jump in here and say, Rick, I'm gonna pray for you, man.
There's many things I need prayer for. I'll take them all.
You're in trouble, buddy.
My brother.
That one. Yeah, please. I solicit.
I thought you was my brother.
I solicit your prayers.
Yeah, you did.
I solicit your prayers. But I laugh at that.
That's a weekend project.
I laugh at that, but I got to tell you, Brenda has some brilliant ideas, and it's interesting because it's true. It causes movement, and I'm kind of used to it by now. But yeah, continue to pray for me, But that's why we're in Charleston.
As always.
That's why we're in Charleston. Because Brenda makes a statement, and the thing is, she makes a statement so easily, and without and then of course it comes to pass. And so, when I used to tell her that, I said, Brenda, you actually are the one that causes movement in our family, because I'm like, whatever, it's all good. And she comes up with these ideas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do it. But then when I do it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, but pray for me,
Yeah.
man. Pray for me.
Oh no, it's fun. See, it's all, and that's another thing. It's all about something new. I just like new. I've always liked new. And even when we was at my son's house, I was like, Cameron, my goodness, your house is new. It's like a blank canvas. What are we gonna do? We're gonna paint some walls. We're gonna put up some pictures. He was like, Ma, slow down, Ma. Because it was fun. They had a brand new blank canvas that they could furnish and decorate, and it was just fun.
The way a
But it's
person
all about
is the way a person is. Like she says to us all the time, always think about doing something new or learning something new. She, you actually, Brenda, have applied that to every area of your life, not just the business. And so, and that's an important point. The things that we do actually, if we can see it, apply to every area, and it becomes a way of who we are, it becomes part of who we are and how we do things. And I think that's probably the greatest growth that I know I've had, especially in listening to you, Brenda, and all the things that you do, and applying them in my life. I actually have morphed and changed into that person. So thank you. But still pray for me, Mariana. Pray for me.
Oh, you're funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you figure Mariana, I thought she was my brother. But yeah, it's fun. But you know what? So think about this. Look at it this way, okay? The cabinets are white. So in the meantime, what do we have to do? We have to go out. We have to find a nice little eggshell white, or there's another white out there. I think it's too mauve.
Deeper.
So white. So while we're out, right, we're taking our time. We're looking for a color, and then we have to figure out, okay, we're going to have to sign this.
Deeper and deeper and deeper.
Wait a minute. Do we have to sand all the cabinets, or are we going to do like a primer over it, so that way we don't have to go through all that sanding
It'll be a
stuff?
primer.
I mean, so check this out. See, did you hear what he said, you guys? It'll be a primer. He's already there. So, but what I'm trying to say is, who are we going to meet during this process? What are we going to bump into? What is going to happen? See, when I think of something, and of course it's completed, it's done, it's pretty, but in the meantime, what's going to happen as you take on this project that's going to cause more people to come into your life, different people to come into your life, for you to think about something that you hadn't thought about in years. So if you start opening your mind to newness, there's so many things that will come along with it. So that's what I mean when I say, when you venture out to learn something, along the journey of learning this, you're going to learn so much more things, and even the other day, Rick, when you went on to the whole area map and looked at where this country was versus our country and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you had such a good time enjoying learning the geographic blah, blah, blah.
I did. And I learned that Greenland
yes,
is 90 plus % Indian. I mean, into it, Indians. 90% in Greenland.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that was just amazing to me, because you don't even think about it. And I learned, of course, how close Alaska is to Russia, and 2 islands in between Alaska and Russia. I know Glenn and Mariana know all about that, because they was in, missiles.
The other 10%, the other 10% are probably military.
And they had Thule, Greenland. Thule, Greenland is where we have our satellite base. But back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, we actually built a underground nuclear facility and a base underground in Greenland. And they had to close it down because the earth shifts up there. But we actually built a nuclear facility underground in Greenland. And the Greenlanders didn't know anything about it. It was like a Cheyenne Mountain facility. And Greenland.
So let me let you know that I've been to Shimya, and even though I've never been to Russia, I could see it from there.
So wait
It's
a minute,
true.
Mariano. So
Because
that's
that was
when
the
you guys
question,
were,
Mariano. I
you
wanted
guys
to
were
see if
stationed
can
there?
you
You were
see
stationed there?
Russia from the U.S. and you can.
Yeah, because it's on the Aleutian chain, and so on a good day, you can, on the horizon, you can see it.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you learned something new. I thought that was so interesting when Rick actually pulled the map up and was showing me what he had learned and and then of course he go and dive deep. What kind of people live there? Who lives there? How do you end up there? And I know when we would travel and we would take road trips and we passed these little towns, like even for this one that we are in now, Goose Creek, it's a small little suburb. But even the name Goose Creek, when you come here, you'll know these geese, goose, whatever, they walk around like they own the joint. So that's how they got the name. But then how does the people end up there? So you would ask yourself, how would someone end up so close to the Antarctic where it's cold up there? And so it was really interesting to learn all of that. And it made me think of how spoiled we are here where we are to just run to the grocery store when we want this or that, where we have people out there that are actually fishing for their meal and cooking it on stoves. But then again, cooking it on an open fire. But then folks love that camping stuff. So anyway, so Mariano, I have a question. You were stationed there. Is that how you know?
Simeon.
No, I actually went there on a TDY because we were replacing all of the computer equipment inside the radar site that was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the week that I was there, like within a 24-hour period, I got a chance to see snow, blizzard, sunshine, and rain within a 24-hour period just because of how the fronts move through that part of the world. It was an incredible thing,
That's so
not
weird.
to mention that it's such a small island that whenever the pilots go into to land there, if the weather isn't perfect or isn't safe, they sometimes have to just turn around and go back to the previous island where you get fueled because the runway is so short and the winds can really have a big impact on the ability for the plane to land. So
wow.
but it was an exciting time while I was there. But one of the other things that was kind of interesting, just to put it in perspective, is that when I was walking around the site there, I noticed that they had all these poles with ropes on them. And so I thought maybe they were their version of a fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked some of the guys that were stationed there, so what's up with the ropes and the poles? And he says, well, that's how we know what to go to the next building when it's whiteout conditions.
Oh my gosh.
Stop and think about that.
Wow.
Wow.
I did a 1-year remote tour and
Okay, yeah, all right. So
What's that,
Glenn knows
Glenn?
what I'm talking about, but it was impressive.
Wow.
What'd you say, Glenn?
I said I did a 1-year remote tour in Iceland.
Oh boy.
And it was remote. I wasn't near the Navy, and that's all of that we're talking about is the Russian front. when you hear when you hear that term, it's the Russian front. We served there.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's what
Look,
happened is I started looking to see, what that was all about with Russia and its closeness to Alaska, and that took me to the Arctic Ocean, and then it took me all the way over to the Canadian side and the 36,000 islands between northeastern Canada and Greenland, in between there, and how some are inhabited and some aren't inhabited, and then just to see the makeup, the demographics of the people. I'm like, wow, the remote's part of the world. And but that took me to a whole another learning something new. And but when you do, it expands you in so many other areas, not just that particular area. But thank you for your service, Glenn and Mariano.
Yeah,
that's service.
Thank you for yours.
Mariano.
Look, I'm still. Go ahead, Glenn.
You got a break. I was stuck there.
Mariana was TDY.
Mariana said, okay, I'm gonna see this in 24 hours. I'm good. What I'm still on the fact that you have to hold a rope to go from one pole to the next pole.
No, one building
the
to
whiteout
the next building.
That is so.
That is true.
Otherwise, you get blown away.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So the weather conditions can be really, really drastically severe in just a short period of time. Well, like I said, within a 24-hour period, one day, we got to see all those different variables, and it was absolutely incredible to experience that firsthand. But we knew that we weren't in Kansas.
So I'm sure you saw the Northern Lights.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The time that I was there, I didn't, but I wish I would have.
I know Glenn did, since he was there for a year.
Yes. 24 hours of sunshine, 24 hours of darkness.
Oh my God.
Yes. Isn't that a trip? Yeah, we went to Alaska. We missed the Northern Lights, but it wasn't 24 hours. It was still kind of going through its rotation or whatever it was. And it was 11 o'clock at night, and it looked like it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That was crazy. So I could imagine Glenn being there, and I'm quite sure they have the patent on blackout curtains, because here it is, you're trying to sleep, and the sun is so bright outside, and you can't even think.
It throws you off. You gotta get used to it.
But the whole experience was you take advantage of the situation. I had 1 year. I broke a lot of and refined a lot of habits that needed to be addressed. I had time to
fresh, get in top shape, all of those positives. So I decided to try to find a positive in every situation. And like I said, that comes about with learning something new or a new experience, because I wasn't there for a lifetime. I was there for a year. So I started to look for, why am I here?
Wow.
Why am I here? And my family's back in California in the desert, and they're separated from me. We're separated from each other
for a year.
We grew a lot during the course of that year.
I'll bet.
So I always try to find the positive out of every situation.
Man, wow.
Absolutely. I lived in Alaska for a little while, and when I first went up there, it was just I couldn't use, because it was summertime.
Why were you there?
Huh?
Why were you there?
I was running from something. Let's put it that way.
Did you live there or no?
That's a nice way to put it.
Yes. I was living there for a while, and so it was springtime into the summer, which is absolutely gorgeous. Music coming up in your yard and the building and anyway. But when the winter hit, I had to adjust to a blip of sunlight to the whole darkness thing, right?
Wow.
And so that was an amazing trip, and then seeing the Northern Lights you were talking about, that was absolute. But the summer, what I loved was the summertime, because at the time I was clubbing, so we went out at and we got out of there about 2ish in the morning or something, and I was shocked to see how bright it was.
Oh my gosh.
How it was. And we started doing midnight picnics, picnics at night, going out. So it was like nothing stopped them. Nothing stopped them in the snow either. My sister wore sandals. I'm talking about toe out.
Wow.
In the wintertime.
What?
I got my, what do you call those mudlug boots on? The real Eskimo boots on.
Right.
But they were used to it. They were used to it. So I thought it was a beautiful time.
How long were you there?
Wow.
Maybe a little over a year.
Oh, nice.
A little over a year. Enough to experience and know it's the most beautiful place I ever went to.
Oh, nice.
And I remember going up, we went up north, they were showing us, where Santa Claus Village is, that Santa Claus place up there. But they stopped by a spring. This, oh my God, I'll never get the taste of that natural spring water. It
Wow.
was cold, but it was the cleanest, refreshingest water you ever
Wow.
wanted to. And it was just natural, flowing down across those little,
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
So
mm.
it was quite an experience. I would go again.
Thanks for sharing that. I never knew
Nice.
that you were up in
Thanks for
Alaska.
sharing. Yeah, that's nice. See, Rick, we only took a trip. I think we need to
Oh
go and
yeah. Hey,
experience some
Brenda,
time.
ours was a vacation.
Ours was a vacation. We just went up there to play. But yeah, it's from what we hear, it's really beautiful. We missed the Northern Lights, just like Mariano. It was just the wrong time of year. It was pretty warm, but and the time was circling to where it was going to be all day long, and that is definitely something to experience. And I know we end up in oh shoot, what's the name of that place? Starts with a C. Oh man, I can't think. Anyway, we went there, and one thing I learned that I thought, and Rick, you'll remember when I say this, one thing I thought was interesting is your car. It was almost like they had posts, not posts, but like corrals for horses, and instead of having ropes for horses, they had outlets for people to plug up their engine
Fort
because
McHenry. Was that
Oh
Fort?
yes.
Calvary,
That was in
no,
Canada.
Calvary,
Yeah, no, that was in
yeah,
Canada.
oh,
That was
I know,
northern
but what's the name of the
Canada.
place?
Yeah.
Cavalry, cavalry. There's a
No, it was
Yeah,
way North Canada where the
cavalry.
temperatures were like 14 degrees below zero most.
it was, and
Wow,
so
that's like Alaska.
what made me think of that, Deborah, is that we were doing a presentation up there,
Uh,
and the young
That's when we
lady
opened
who was
Canada.
yeah, and the young lady who we hosted, she had sandals on, and it was like a blizzard outside. And
wow.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They were cute, but oh no, there's no way I would have sandals on. And
I'm
they
with
took
you.
us to a really nice steak restaurant. But the one thing I remember was they actually had electric cords
Yes.
plugging up people's engine because I guess your engine would freeze over or something. So
Yes.
that
They had
was
Yeah.
that
that
in
was
Alaska too. In
interesting.
Alaska, they had that too. My front of my mom, my mom and dad's place, they would plug up their cars too. And I'm just going to share this with you, then I'll get off. In the dead of winter, we were driving. I think we were coming from Anchorage or somewhere. We were coming back, and we went over this big area, just ice, girls. I mean, people. Anyway, just went over this big area, just solid ice, and I'm just thinking
Wow.
we're on the road, because it looked like a road from this little place. And I'm got the when everything started thawing out, and we were going back up that way, and they talking about my sister talking about, you know where you are? You know where you are? I said, yeah, we're on our way to Anchorage. And she said, no, we drove over this. We were beside the lake, right? That's the lake we drew over when we
Wow.
were coming back. Do you remember that? Because I didn't believe it when they first told me we're driving on a lake. I said, no, you're not. And then when it thawed out, they showed me the lake. I freaked out.
Wow.
It was that
Wow.
solid, though. It was that solid that we got the drive over portion of that. That was wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
That
I
is
It's
guess
pretty
that's
cool.
like
amazing.
walking on water. I guess I can say at least I might not walk
You
on water,
walked
but I
on
rode
water.
on water.
You walked on.
I rode on water.
See, see, we learned something new about you today that you actually walked on water.
Yeah, pretty cool there.
Come
Wow.
on.
I know. That's awesome. That is so awesome. And see, it's what's so cool about everything is that there's so much out there we just don't know. And that's this is what gets me excited because there's so much to learn, and if we can just keep that mind open to receive and to understand and to just keep going and looking and seeing, man, I think it's just no better feeling than to learn something new, to get educated about something, even learning something new about the people on the call today. That was all new to me. I had no idea Mariano experienced that. Glenn had a year of it. Deborah walked on water. I mean, so all of that is just awesome stuff because we've all lived a lifetime of different adventures that we've gone on, different things that we can share. And that's what makes the world go round. All the things that we go through and as we're lifing. And just like that experience happened, came and went, other great experience will happen and come and go. And so you want to just continue to just get out there and learn something new. And that's what's so great about the whole internet system that we have right now. You can actually go and learn it all, see it all. Some of these shows, you can start watching a blizzard and literally get cold because it looks so cold right on the television. But I know there's nothing like actually being there, holding on to a rope, trying to get to the next building. That to me is something that I do not ever have to experience, but I can see, I can see how that would really be interesting. Wow, that was good. Oh man, that was really great.
Let me finish the story about the electrical cords and all that stuff. So
okay.
like you were saying, at Elmendorf Air Force Base and a lot of the military, and just like she was saying, all over town, you'll find these cords that are on posts that people can plug into because, just like I was talking about being out at Shimya, within a short period of time and because of drastic temperatures, when they drop, especially if you're like at work, what you arrive as a morning and then by the time you leave, the temperature could be so different. All of the vehicles up there have heating elements that have been installed in all of their motors because when you plug that in, that little heating element keeps the antifreeze of the water or the fluids warm so they don't freeze up. So that way you can drive home and you don't crack your engine block and stuff like that. So it's just interesting again how life can be different in different parts of the world, but that's why they do that.
Oh wow, yeah, I thought that was interesting. All I was looking at was like, is that a cord? Is that an electric cord? As I'm trying to hurry up and get out of the cold. But yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot out there. We just don't know what we don't know. And it's so fun to learn something new and just go and say, okay, now, since that's this, I want to learn this, I want to see that. And it'll just take you from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And before you know it, you have a wealth of information and you're thinking, wow, what am I going to do on that? Oh, go on Jeopardy, win $1 million.
So Glenn, did you know Willie in Iceland? Because Willie was there also.
Willie was. I was on a peninsula in isolation. Willie was up there near the naval base. I did not meet him there.
Oh, okay.
But we have stories to share. Well, it was quite an experience, and a lot of the assignments that we had, we added to our skill sets, like Rick was saying before. Because when the computer age launched, we were using the internet and humongous computers long before the public knew anything about it. The military,
right?
That's where the internet came from. The military was using it to communicate, and that's where I learned my computer skills. So take advantage of the opportunity and add to your skill set.
It's amazing the skill sets that we have. That's why I just want to emphasize, especially for those of us who have been, either in different professions or in this business for a while, people need us. People need us in the communities, in our churches. People need our skill set. People in other businesses even. That the skill set of even like us just being on this call and sharing on this call, that's not normal. That's not natural. And if you can think of a way to be able to apply this skill set to help somebody else, and the things that they're doing, boy, that's another stream of income or this stream of income because it opens you up to other people to be able to share this opportunity, like Brenda was saying. And again, appreciate your prayers, Mariano. But Brenda's already completed the project in the kitchen. She's not even the one doing it, right? And I'm doing it. But what she said was, who are we going to meet along the way? Even just in that statement, we're going to meet someone along the way. And that's just how it works. You can make that statement. When you go out this morning, I'm going to meet someone that is looking for me. Like somebody in the business that Glenn and Chantel, know very well. I'm waking up in the morning because somebody's been praying for me that night. And so I'm looking for those who are looking for me, to come into this business. And that's how we work the business. When you make those kinds of statements, ooh, boy, people show up to fulfill it. And that's the most amazing thing. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow, that is so true. Anybody else? Okay, well, come on back to some warm weather.
I know that's
come
right.
on back to some warm weather. But that was so fun taking a trip down memory lane with everybody.
Fort
that was
McMurray
really great.
was that city, Brenda, that we went to that has like the below zero weather. Fort McMurray. So we brought somebody in the business when we went and opened Canada for YTB.
Yeah.
Fort McMurray.
And real quick, you remember those huge, these things were as big as apartment buildings, and they did something to get the oil out of the dirt.
Yeah, black oil shade.
Yeah.
Big,
that was interesting too.
Huge.
Yeah, they were about as big as an apartment building.
Well, hey, after I did the year remote, they sent me to Florida for 6 years.
That was nice though.
So I got over it.
I bet.
What was that base in Florida?
You did literally leave the coast.
What was that base in Florida?
We were at Tyndall Air Force Base.
That's right. Wow.
Tyndall.
From one extreme to the other, huh?
From one extreme to the other.
From one extreme to the other.
Come to Seattle.
The Tillmans were in Florida also.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
We were
you guys know them there?
No.
Man, they've been following you. Oh, they've been tracking you all their life.
Look, one way or the other. It's amazing. The whole story will have you met Adrian over here. I was running the home daycare on the base, McCord Air Base. And met Adrian. Another one of our friends was running a home daycare as well, and we used to get together with our children. And there comes Adrian. I'm like, come on, you can't plan this stuff.
Yeah,
you really can't. That's just being open to learning something new, doing something new, and you just can't plan it because the timing is always perfect.
Meeting
right.
Yeah,
and that's right.
We didn't meet until Seattle. Tacoma, Seattle, but yeah, even though we had been in those two different places.
Wow.
Right. It's amazing.
Iceland, you in Florida, and then Seattle, you meet.
Yes.
Wow. What are the odds of that?
Yes, you just never know.
Man,
it's all about timing. Yes.
And I want to share this
meant to be.
Speaking of timing, I have to share this real quick. But keep coming back to this subject. We went down to the beach, Ocean Beach, for our anniversary, and we kind of explored the Oregon. We started at Cannon Beach and then just moved our way on down. But anyway, yesterday was our last day, so I said, I really want to do something fun because we went to the Tillamook cheese place and that was okay and that was good and everything. But I said, I just want to try something fun. And so I've been looking at this obstacle course that Seaside, Oregon has. And so I said, well, I really want to try that. And he was like, I don't know. But then yesterday morning it was raining. So it's like, I guess it's not a good day to try it then, huh? And then we found that there is one closer in Warrington and it's going on our way out of town. And so then I said, let's just stop and see, because that's the other one. I said, let's just stop and see. Let's just see what it looks like and all that. And come and find out, it turns out to be the zip lining. And so zip lining is something
Wow.
I want to do, but I haven't worked my nerve up yet to do it. And so this one has 8 courses. So Chantel and Glenn, that's another zip lining place closer to Costa Rica. But anyway, so we went in there and then we found out that they have axe throwing also. And it was rainy, but it started lightening up and people zip line, rain or shine.
Wow.
And so then we went in and this couple was out. I mean, no, it was like 6, it was a group of people. And so they was talking and said, yeah, we're going to do the axe throwing. And I was like, really? So we asked them a few questions and I said, yeah, we came last year and we had a lot of fun. So we came back this year. And these people are in their 60, 70, 80 range of age and they don't look it at all. And so then, yeah, and we started thinking, okay, well, if they talking about how fun it is, maybe we should try that. And so then turned out they didn't have enough space for us. It would have been later and we would have had to stay later. And so then we said, okay, we'll just watch you all. They said, oh yeah, come on, watch us. And so then they said, oh, would you take some pictures of us? Of course, that's my thing. And so I was like, sure, we'll take pictures of you. And so I took some pictures and they liked our pictures. And so then we watched them and then it really is fun because it's 2 different like dart things made out of wood. And they're side by side and you have teams. And so anyway, we was watching them. Then they said, hey, we want y'all to join us. And we was like, oh, no. We don't have to do that. And so anyway, long story short, we ended up joining them. Nice. And it was fun. And it was we learned something new. And that's one of the latest craze that you do axe throwing.
How did you like axe throwing?
Actually, I liked it. I only hit it once, near the
that felt good, I bet.
Bullseye. But yeah, it was fun.
I bet it felt good when it hit, huh?
Yes. And then I didn't always hit that, but I hit below it in the wood. So you chip the wood off if you don't hit the dart. And then Willie, he got the hang of it and he was like hitting the bullseye several times and around the bullseye and all that kind of thing.
Wow. So, this is a High Life Adventures?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
How did you looked it up?
I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's right line there. And the axe throwing.
But it was so much fun. And we learned something new. So it's like, and in the meantime, they asked us afterwards, well, what are you all doing for lunch? Because we all worked up an appetite after that. And then we all went to lunch together. We couldn't all sit together because our group was 10 people by that time. And so, but then we had 6 people and then we exchanged names. And gave them my business card and talked about that because they meet once a year and do this.
Oh, what?
Yes, they come down to Seaside to do this in Warrington. And then turned out one of them was a mayor, one of them was a hospital administrator, and they were just so down to earth people.
Wow.
And so it was just cool. And so it was a good experience to end the day, the few days we were down there, and we learned something new. And it was fun.
How was the food?
Awesome.
And the food was good, but the food was really good. They do have good seafood and clam chowder, but it's not all the places have good clam chowder in Seaside. But between Seaside and Cannon Beach, they all have clam chowder and lots of seafood. And it is good.
Wow. Yeah,
so,
Lewis and Clark.
Of course, he would ask you about the food.
The food, yes.
Hey, man, I'm looking at the dining room.
Rick is hilarious. But that's the way we started. Adrian was literally booking up our weekends, taking us places. That's how when we met her. This is how we met. Wow. We were going places because they were traveling, and Adrian was, she was a full-time RN, and when she get off on that weekend, she's like, we got to go somewhere. And so we were going everywhere. Adrian was doing the snow sliding, all this. I'm telling you, the tube, you name it, she was doing all that stuff. And she's like, come on, let's go do something. Let's go somewhere. That's the way we started.
Stress reducer from all the pressure at work.
Yes. That's how I got started here with a bunch of different people. And off we went into all this other life adventures.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
That helps you get through all the difficulties of life. So I do like that theme when the company came up with that travel and vacations can save your life, or what was the theme?
Healing Nations with Vacations.
Yes.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm gonna keep using that in some places, so because it just It just fits.
That's true.
Yes.
It
You
does.
know?
It does.
That's true.
And we have everything you could imagine. We have a friend who just came from Africa, and he was showing some pictures of, and the area that he was showing looked like it was the Upper Canyon that we went and visited in Arizona. So everything is right here. So if you have folks who are a little hesitant on leaving right now, it's okay, because there is so much to see right here in the USA.
That's
and
true.
not to mention your own backyard. I mean, you have so much. Look what Adrian, have in her own backyard. We have so much stuff right there in our own backyard. All you have to do is just really go on the internet, like I started saying, and see what's close to you, because we haven't even touched all the different restaurants and different tourist attractions that are 20, 30 minutes away from us. There's so much.
We have the 7-day stay too, but we've got, of course, our certificates, the vacation certificates. But that 7-day stay is pretty powerful too, in areas where there's different activities and different things. And you got 7 days and you're paying next to nothing.
Yes, we did that in Branson a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, Branson's nice. We've been to Branson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all righty. Well, anybody else? Okay. Well, Rick, you good? You good? All
Meeting
minds
tonight.
clear. Oh yeah.
Show and tell meeting tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I had ChatGPT
be...
create a graphic for show and tell. That came out pretty good. It's amazing what you can do with ChatGPT. But anyhow, so we've got the meeting tonight at 8 Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All you got to do is ask the question and know how to ask the question, and keep asking the question until you get the answer you want. But everybody, you know what I love to say, that we are the most trusted team in Surge 365. We are winners. I want everybody to have a great rest of your day, and see you all on the show and tell this evening. All righty. And see you on the beaches of the world. And maybe one of these days we might get back up there to the Antarctic. No, but it's Arctic.
No.
Okay. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.